Welcome back to Swiss Watch Expo. Today I'm going to be going over the most current model of the Rolex Explorer II and the previous generation of the Rolex Explorer II. Now there's not a lot of main differences when you just look at them head on. They look very similar, especially if you're looking online, unless you kind of know what you're looking for. But with Rolex, whenever they release a new generation of a watch, they'll keep that main watch in production for very many years until they make a minor slight change to it. So with Rolex, they like to keep everything as neutral as possible, and they might make some slight little changes. So today I'm going to be going over the key differences between the 216570 and the 226570 model. So first off, we'll start with the dial itself, and we'll kind of look at them side by side. Might be a little bit hard to tell when you're looking at it on the video itself, but looking at the dial itself, the 216570 has a little bit more of a matte finished black dial versus the newer generation that has a little bit more of a glossy finish. Now there are some camps of people that like the matte finish, some people like the glossy. There's no right or wrong here, but it's mainly more of just kind of like a preference. And then also too, when you look at the hands itself, you can see that they kind of added this like black coating on the hands on the previous generation, where on the current generation, you can see that that there is no black coating and it's all kind of that silver color tone. And then when you look at the bottom there, when you're looking at the Swiss made logo, which is very small at the bottom, the previous generation just had Swiss made, and then they updated it to the Swiss crown made. And it's really just because of the updated chromolite looms that they added on there. So the previous generation still has the chromolite looms, but the 226570 now has the enhanced chromolite loom. So it just lasts a little bit longer. Again, just a very minor difference. The previous generation does have the 3187 caliber, which is going to hold about a 48-hour power reserve, whereas the current generation now holds the longer 70-hour power reserve with the 3285 caliber. And then when you look over at the lugs itself, you can see that they kind of slimmed down the lugs ever so slightly on the current generation, where the previous one had slightly thicker lugs. So again, if you're looking for a little bit more of a wrist presence, maybe you like the previous generation better. But if you like a little bit more of that refined tapered look, the current generation is going to fit really nicely on pretty much most wrist sizes. But again, they are very similar. When you're looking at both of these, they still have the classic 42mm case size with the Oyster Lock bracelet and the Easy Link on the clasp itself with 100 meters of water resistance. So again, those are just some very minor slight differences between the two generations. Again, it's mainly based off preference. I personally like the matte finish on the previous generation because I think it makes the hands kind of stand out a little bit more, whereas the newer generation has that glossier finish. But again, it's more of just kind of a preference thing. So leave a comment down below. Which one of these two generations do you like best? And if you're still looking on our website and you need a little bit more information on those key differences, we can hop on a quick FaceTime call and we can actually show you those differences live on video as well. So check these two models out here at SwissWatchExpo.com.